Hey, guess who? Man, happy Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I am not going to keep you long, but let me say this. Ooh, what I'm learning is, for those of you who don't know, I'm Lisa Ely, and I am delighted to be here. I am literally a six-figure and multi-six-figure success coach, business strategist, HR profit strategist, all the things. You can see my award back there. There's proof of it. That's proof of it. Um, and I'm just delighted to be here. So I have already talked to, wished Happy Father's Day to the most significant men in my life. To my husband, Cliff, Happy Father's Day again. To my dad, that we celebrated 75 years of life and love and all of that and legacy in April. Happy Father's Day. To my brother, who is a father to three amazing adult children and grandfather to two, and also to my bonus dad as well. Bill, got to wish him a happy Father's Day. So, literally, to all of you out there, hey, happy Father's Day. To the brothers, the uncles, the cousins, um, the bonus dads, neighbors, professors, teachers, pastors, ministers, to anyone who has operated in that space, close and far, those who are still with us. I am blessed to have all those amazing men in my life and those who may have gone on to glory now, right? But we celebrate all of them. Happy Father's Day. I wanted to come on today, and so I'm going to say I fell forward, right? Because we learn. And what I've learned is during this month, today is the 18th. And so I have gone live 18 times, but only for 17 days. So what really happened, right, when we don't necessarily meet our goals? I could have just shrunk and said, I'm going to toss it in. I'm not going to go live no more this month because I missed a day. Or I could say, okay, what happened? How can we change it? How can we make it better? And so I know today our talk is about freedom, and we're going to get to that. But I got to get to this because I made a commitment to go live. And so, no, I missed a day. But I'm going to keep going. And man, isn't it still amazing to say out of 31 days, I would have made 30? Like, that's like a breakthrough on its own. So, this is for someone who needs to hear this. Maybe you're a father. Maybe your father of your children, or your father, your grandfather, your uncle didn't make the mark, right? Some way, shape, or form, you were disappointed because you wanted it to be one way, but it's not. And the fact is simply this: the fact of the matter is that none of us are perfect. We are perfecting our lives and we are striving um, for whatever it is that's in front of us, right? All of our goals and aspirations are different. There is no manual on fatherhood or motherhood or sisterhood or brotherhood or a neighbor, right? Or what you should do to be a neighbor, a friend, or any of that. And so um, assume positive intent. Can I say that? Assume positive intent. Even if your dad or father figure wasn't everything that you saw on the Brady Bunch, or Father Knows Best, or whatever show that you have watched and saw fathers on TV that are scripted to do, know that once you become an adult, it's really up to you to define the relationship. You can't keep making those excuses of what happened in the past. Not just in that, but like in our goals, our lives, right? if we're trying to get healthier, if we're trying to repair our relationships, if we're trying to make big achievements, you own that. And so as an adult, right, we own it. And so I want you to own it today. And even if you haven't, I encourage you this, even if you haven't spoken to your dad in years or even decades, right? Even if you haven't spoken to your dad in years or decades, I want you to reach out and make a phone call. Reach out and say hello, even if it's just maybe you can only just stand or take or with um or go through 2 minutes. That's okay, right? Because when we talk about freedom, right? When we talk about freedom, this is what I want you to know. When we talk about freedom, what we're really, really talking about is we're talking about defining our lives. We're talking about every single day, every single moment, every single week. What will it mean? We're talking about the legacy that we will leave. We're talking about how we balance our lives, the self-talk that we use to ourselves, the stories that we tell, that we share, and who we become each and every day. And so today, this is not meant to necessarily be the most serious message um, from that standpoint. But what I want you to know is that you can make an impact and a difference. Yes, it's still my birthday month. I am celebrating, and this is why I'm coming um, on live as well, because it's a significant day. It's a significant month. Tomorrow is Juneteenth, right? And I know that the work that I have been chosen and purposed to do is to make an impact into the lives of people just like you and just like me, to help you, to show you to the way to go further, faster, and to make a bigger impact, and to ultimately to reach your goals on a deep and meaningful and purposeful way. And so I want you to accept my invitation, right? I want you to accept my invitation to join me for my 4-part series. Part 1 was last week, and part 2 is tomorrow. And it is breaking barriers and building bridges, strategies for advancing in a competitive work environment. Tomorrow, the link is below in this post. It is going to be an amazing journey, because the first session was way more than I ever expected or even thought could be accomplished. And so when we get to the end of this 4-part series, you can make an investment in yourself and have it for a period of time. But now is the time to empower yourself, to be blessed, to unleash and drive forward toward your purpose and break barriers. There's 3 things I want to share with you about freedom. Uh, I live in outside of our nation's capital in Maryland with my family. We've lived here nearly 14 years. I can't believe that we've been here this long, but it's been nearly that amount of time. And I've not probably, but been to the African American Museum no less than 4 or 5 times. In fact, many individuals who come and visit us always want to go. And I'm eager to go because there's so much to experience and see. And I'm always internally transformed from the experience. And so this was probably the 3rd time that I went. I hadn't noticed, because every time I go to the African American Museum here in DC, I glean something more. Something hits me in a different way. I might have seen it, but not really, really felt it. But I was transformed by a simple exhibit of Harriet Tubman. And for those of you who don't know, Harriet Tubman um, was from the Maryland area. Actually, she was in and about this region. And also, for those of you who don't know geography, Maryland is what we call below the Mason-Dixon line. And the Mason-Dixon line was the line that delineated free territory from slave territory, right? And so there's something about North, right? So I'm from the North, I'm from Ohio, Cleveland in particular, and the 216. But where we live now is below the Mason-Dixon line. And I've never lived below the Mason-Dixon line, like ever, until we moved here. Nor did I really recognize that that was the case. But Harriet Tubman, and inside the exhibit that I'm sure I've seen before, I had seen before, but on the third visit, literally it drew me in. Not only did I take a picture of it, but literally I have done some blogs and Soul Sundays and other things around it. And so it's only fitting that as we are on the day before, less than 24 hours away from June 19th, and celebrating the time in 1865 in Galveston, Texas, when the slaves who had been free for years were finally notified. And that is why we now celebrate Juneteenth, because it's about freedom. But the thing about it was the freedom that they were celebrating was really already theirs. It was fought for in a war, right? And the message was delayed getting to them because in 1865, we know there was no excellent post where you have airmail, and there wasn't automobiles and vehicles. Literally, it was the coach or the horse or sometimes the train, and then an actual individual or person delivering the news. And because these were marginalized citizens, um, some wanted to keep them in slavery longer than they should. And so it was a sign and a signal that we're sometimes free, but we don't recognize that we are. And so freedom costs a tremendous amount. And I ask you this today: think about what it would feel like for you to truly be free and to accept that. It reminds me of something I read last week, and it was an interview. And a famous person said that in interviewing other successful people, that the one thing that was consistent in all of those individuals was that they knew what they wanted. And so I say to you today, your story starts, it begins, the middle, and the end must include freedom. Freedom to be, freedom to accept, freedom to live, freedom to go beyond your wildest thoughts or dreams or whatever you thought was possible for yourself, for your business, for your family, for your profession, for your career, for your ministry, for your church, and definitely for your life and your legacy. And so the freedom to be and do was a heavy, heavy toll in our society. In fact, I don't know the numbers, but it is said that the Civil War, more Americans, right, US citizens died because the North was fighting the South. And so every blood that was shed, every soul that was lost was a citizen. And I don't know if that still holds true, but I know that there are still deep wounds from the Civil War. And so today, I encourage you, I encourage you, I encourage you to seek after your own freedom and to ensure that your story begins in the middle and it ends in freedom. And so join me tomorrow, and other amazing Christian professionals, business owners, and career job seekers as we join together for part 2 of Empowered and Blessed, breaking barriers and building bridges, strategies for advancing in this competitive environment. And when I say competitive, I literally mean that it's competitive because it's challenging. It's competitive because there might be a recession. It's competitive because we don't know the beginning from the end. But I want to assure you today that your story will begin with freedom and it will end with freedom. But you've got to make that conscious choice to make it happen. And so I'm Lisa Ely, and I am your multi six-figure success strategist. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Click the button below. And again, happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth. We're going to break through our barriers and make it happen so that your story can begin and end with freedom. Take care. Bye for now.